So this is part two of the video of my first supernatural experience. So anyway, I'm in this tunnel of light and I'm watching a fight go on between the angels and the demons. The angels are trying to help people get closer to God. He's at the top of the tunnel of light. That's where he spoke to me from. And demons, they had formed a snake and they're trying to pull angels away from the light, away from God. And as I'm watching this, I began to wish that there was something. If I began wishing it was something I could do to help, and as I began wishing this, all of a sudden I appeared back in the ambulance on the stretcher with the demons still surrounding me, and the ambulance stopped. As when the ambulance stopped, the doors open and some more demons outside waiting. So the demons grabbed me and they started leading me towards the building. And as they lead me towards this building, I began trying to fight and get free because I wanted everything to go back to normal. By normal, I mean like my everyday life, what I'm used to seeing. Or either I wanted to go to heaven and be with God, which was really what I wanted more than anything. I could actually feel my spirit trying to get out my body and get to God when I was in the tunnel of light. But as I came back down to earth and the ambulance opened, these demons still got me. I'm still fighting. And then all of a sudden, I thought that maybe if I relaxed, they'd relax. And then I could finally break free and get away from them. So I relaxed. And as I relaxed, they eased up. And then I tried to break free. When I tried to break free, they grabbed me and slammed me on the ground and pinned me down and started taunting me, saying stuff like, I'll pull your dreads out one by one. And I'm still mad, so I'm still bucking at them like, do it. And then all of a sudden, I remembered that when I needed strength, when everything first started happening, I prayed to God. So I asked God to give me strength. When I did this, I was able to stand up like nobody wasn't holding me. It's like 3 or 4 of them. But after I stood up, broke free, they grabbed me again and took me back down to the ground. And at first I couldn't understand why God would let me get free just to get pinned back down again. But later on it clicked. They led me into this room and strapped me into a bed, strapped me down to a bed. And then they left the room. And when they left the room, I asked God for strength to get free again. And first I tried to break free and I couldn't. So I asked for God to break the straps. And all of a sudden the straps came loose like they was never strapped, like I was never strapped down. As I ran out the room, the demons grabbed me again and took me back into the room and strapped me down even tighter. I couldn't understand why God would let me get free just to be strapped back up again. Then all of a sudden it clicked. God was showing me that I had to be still and wait on him, and that everything that happened is all part of his plan. Once I realized this, I began to relax. It's like when I relaxed, I drifted off into sleep, but only for a second. Next morning, I wake up and it felt like it was a crazy dream. But the only thing is, I woke up in the hospital and it's a lady dressed in black still trying to get me to take this medicine. And I can still hear God's voice saying, no, trust me. So as she brought this plate of food and this medicine to me, I asked if I had to take it. She said, yeah, and handed it to me and then left the room. As soon as she left the room, I set it down. Then another nurse come in. She dressed in all white. And she said before I could be released, I had to have an evaluation to make sure I was in my right mind. I wasn't crazy or whatever. So she started asking me all these questions. I started answering them. And when I was done answering them, she said, it sounds to me like you had a demonic encounter. And then she smiled at me and handed me some papers and said I was free to go. But that's like the first supernatural experience I ever had. God has allowed me to see several things since then. I'll post some more videos later on with other experiences and things that I've seen, things that I've heard, things that I've learned. But I thank y'all for listening.